Hello everyone and welcome back to the Belgian Beer Builders channel. Cedric here in Antwerp with a brand new brew review, and I would like to continue down the path of alcohol-free beers. Don't ask me why, but the weather is nice, so I am in the mood for something sunny as well. Enter the Amstel Oro Tostada. Now we've already had the Amstel Oro Tostada. Put it up here in Brew Review 172, and I gave it a 3.5 out of 5, which is not that bad. So let's see if this is just as good. So the Oro Tostada is made with 4 types of golden malts that are roasted in 3 stages. First to dry the malt, then to toast the malt, and third a blast of fire at high temperature to color the malts. And all that gives it a dark golden color, or at least it should, and a particular aroma of toasted malts. Think about bread and cookies. Now the beer is brewed low gravity, as they say, to about 5.6 degrees Plato, which means that it has the potential to ferment up until about 2.5% ABV. But the final product has less than 0.4% and actually 0.0. Amstel has been brewing alcohol-free beers for over a decade now, and according to themselves, this results in a beer with body, creamy foam, intense flavor, and just the right amount of bitterness. So yeah, I'm very curious. Let's see it. Fun fact, by the way, Amstel was the first European brewery to use cans since 1957. Talking about the can, I again really love this design. It is very simple, it is very elegant, it is very calm. So yeah, I really like that. Okay, now they do really work the gold into this this can design with the gold top and the borders. Okay, a bit more carbonated than expected, but that's not bad. Indeed a very lovely color. This is a deep gold, copper gold orangey, somewhere along those lines. Yeah, some off-white foam, a lot of foam, I like a lot of foam. Quite off-white, some medium to small bubbles, very nice thick head of foam. All good until there. Slightly hazy, I see a bit of yeast residue in the beer, but you guys know that I mostly like that. So about the scent. Ooh, very pleasant. I expected this to be a bit sweeter, but no. I always expect that from alcohol-free beers. Now, the original beer was brewed to 5.6%, 5.6 degrees Plato, which means that's not that much. And oftentimes we ferment down to 1.5 degrees, so let's say that's 4 degrees fermented, so 2% ABV, more or less. And because this is a 0%er, I would have expected this to have more leftover sugars, more rest sugars, but apparently not really. Also in the nose it has a decent amount of carbonation and some very pleasant bitterness. Of course, some toasty and even roasty scents. Yeah, very nice. Slightly mocha even. So I'm getting some bread, some cookies, but also a bit of mocha, a bit of bitterness. I'm not quite sure if this is from the roasted malts or from the hops. So next step, let's put the taste to the test. Cheers! Okay, let's give them some credit. Most of the time, this is where alcohol-free beers drop down in a heartbeat. Like I said, we have a beautiful color, we have a very decent nose, but oftentimes the taste is very thin and slightly to the sour side, and a bit sweet. And this beer isn't that different, albeit less unpleasant than most alcohol-free beers. So I am actually enjoying this, even though it does indeed have a very thin mouthfeel. And it has that slightly sour edge. I don't really know where that comes from, but a lot of alcohol-free beers have that. It is very thin, and I do miss that, not necessarily the alcohol, but that boozy mouthfeel, that full mouthfeel. Now it does have a decent amount of bitterness, and that is also quite important. So if you make an alcohol-free beer, you want to compensate for the lack of ethanol, the lack of alcohol and booziness. You want to compensate for that with more bitterness, more aroma, more flavor. So let's say they did that like half right for me personally. Yeah, it's absolutely not bad, and I'm gonna finish this. However, I'm not gonna stock up on this. So the verdict, or maybe let's first talk about the aftertaste, because the aftertaste is also very thin, even though it sticks slightly in the back of the throat, which is a very nice detail. But the aftertaste is slightly bitter, mainly malty. And I actually get quite a bit of carbon dioxide in the aftertaste. So again, not all that great, but absolutely not bad either. So I think this is a very average beer. So if we do continue to the verdict, let's say this is a 275. Yeah, 275. It's absolutely not the worst. It's also absolutely not the best. It is a very decent, very average alcohol-free beer, be it on the pleasant side of average. So yeah, that was about it. I'm gonna finish this. Until next time, if you want to show your appreciation, hit the thumbs up down below. Any questions, any remarks, leave them down in the comments. As usual, if you want to see more, hit the bell icon after you subscribe, and you'll be the first to know whenever I upload something, which should be Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6 p.m. local time here. And if you want to support this channel, don't worry about it. Just share a video, spread the word, and let's grow that community. Until then, I will see you next time. Cheers.